Thank you, sir. This next item is a directive to the federal government ordering the restoration of freedom of speech and preventing government censorship of free speech going forward.
The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until part of that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
You're live with King MattTheGod. The God's back.
Let go.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check it a check. With a check in. Man, why my compressor on this line? Bugging out. Probably like that tag. Volume down a little bit, we can get started. That looks about good. All right. We here now. You are now live with King MattTheGod. Let's get this party started. As you all know, Trump won. He's the president. Trump's that bull. He's him. He's him. And Democrats are fucking flipping out. They're going crazy. Mad. Know why they mad? Because Sodom and Gomorrah is the fuck over. Like, this what God should have did. Be getting back in Sodom and Gomorrah. Don't blow the whole shit up. You probably sent like a whole comment or some shit. And most likely God dropped the fucking nuke on Sodom and Gomorrah. Is it 2 cities or 1 city? I don't know. But they're like twin cities of evil. But nah, this could have all been avoided back in them days. We just got the right motherfucker for the job, bold enough, that had some fucking balls, straight shut all the bullshit down. Like, and it's crazy, like, yo, everywhere was feeling it. Like, we was like this close to like full Sodom and Gomorrah, no coming back, bro. We was like that close. Like, what? And see, what's going on now is a lot of outrage on social media, and they mad as shit. They mad. Y'all mad? Y'all mad? They mad because that bull. Yo, somebody said, was the LB Nation said it. Lou said it best on his channel. He was like, Trump's first presidency was like Star Wars, The New Hope. Biden won, it was like the Empire Strike Back. Because exactly what we all saw. These motherfuckers implemented a lot of crazy, weird-ass policies. Shit that should have never fucking went down. Never got passed. They put in this DEI shit. Basically, hire fucking fruity booties. Hire some fruity booties and you can't fucking... And if you don't, we're going to sue you for discrimination. That's one thing I don't like about the... Affirmative action and shit was necessary in a certain day and age, but it's not necessary now. DEI is not necessary now. It's basically saying... I show up like a full fucking weirdo, dressed as a fucking woman with a wig and lipstick on, and they don't want to hire me. They're discriminating on me. Like, yo, see, nah, get out of here, man. That's that weirdo shit. That's what we said. This shit is like the gateway. The next step they was gonna do is gonna be full on PDF shit. You already know what they do. They gonna be like, oh, kids are young enough to decide if they want to date adults. Listen, that's what's coming next. But we pulled this shit all the way back. Give yourselves a round of applause, fucking Republicans. Yeah. And I wasn't even a Republican. This last time, I wasn't even a Republican. I don't think I voted for Trump the first time. I don't think I voted for anybody. I was just like, I voted for Obama. Oh well. I voted for him twice, I believe. But this second election, nigga, I switched my motherfucking party and voted for Trump. One swift move. I ain't give a shit. Know why? Cause that motherfucker the right dude for the job. I don't know what the fuck Democrats keep trying to push this. Oh, he's racist. Look, he's not perfect. Of course he's gonna have certain allegiances to his own race and different things, but the motherfucker seeming like the people's champ right now. Motherfucker, we don't give a fuck about race. Let me make this bigger. Motherfuckers. Listen, we've been trying to tell y'all before. Yo, the race war is the fuck over. And you wanna know what's ended the race war? Bitches. Women did. All this crazy entitlement, delusion. This is the way they act in general. And what I was saying before is, it's like black men and white men just sat down like, oh, y'all women doing that too? And on the other side, they like, oh, y'all women doing that too? And black and white men just said, shit, we got a common enemy. These bitches out of control. Real shit. And it just was like, after that, the race war was, for the most part, over. I mean, you still gonna have some pockets of some races on all races on all sides. But for the most part, that's it. Over. So we stepped into the era of the gender wars in the last year. It was more like the gender wars for the last couple of years. And that's about over now. Know why it's over? Return to the motherfucking Jedi. Motherfucker. That first presidency was the new hope. Biden came with some bullshit. I ain't vote for him. I don't know who the fuck voted for him. Like, I mean, for the most part, I think most people, Obama fans and Democrat plantation Negroes, what we call them now, they voted for him because they thought it was going to be an extension of Obama. Like, oh, we can bring back the feeling of progressiveness and just basically Sodom and Gomorrah. And then when Trump comes back again, this shit is Return of the Jedi. Like, this shit is like motherfucking Strike Back. Like, shit, the Empire Strike Back on part 2, but this shit Strike Back like right now. And it's funny, bro. It's really funny how Democrats are snapping and going crazy out there and scare tactics, and everybody with a sane mind, even people that probably didn't vote Republican, probably seeing the shit he's pushing through already, and like, yo, well, let's go into some of the shit. Let's go into some of the shit. What I got for y'all?
sir. We'll have it for you back to the Oval. The first is the rescissions of 78 Biden-era EOs and presidential memoranda.
You want to go to that? Do you want to say it? You want to say it?
Oh, if you want me to, sir.
Why don't you say what I'm saying?
Sure. The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others. Thank you, sir. Thank you. The second item, President Trump, is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of this, the government and this administration. Full control of this. Trump is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of this, the government and this administration. Thank you, sir.
Sir, can I have a pen?
The next item, sir, is a freeze on all federal hiring, excepting the military and a number of other excluded categories, again, until full control of the government is achieved and we understand the objectives of government going forward.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Sir, the next item, as you announced in your speech, is a requirement that federal workers return to full-time in-person work immediately. Thank you, sir. Next, we have a directive to every department and agency in the federal government to address the cost of living crisis that has cost Americans so dearly. Thank you, sir. The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty. Yes, sir. We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty. And the next item, sir, is a letter that will be transmitted to the United Nations explaining that we are withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty. We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty. And the next item, sir, is a letter that will be transmitted to the United Nations explaining that we are withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty. Thank you, sir. This next item is a directive to the federal government ordering the restoration of freedom of speech and preventing government censorship of free speech going forward. Thank you, sir. This next item is a directive to the federal government ordering the restoration of freedom of speech and preventing government censorship of free speech going forward. And lastly, sir, before we go back to the Oval Office to sign a large number of other items, is a directive to the federal government ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the previous administration, as we've seen. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Pretty cool job.
Okay, and how many people is this?
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation?
Full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research.
Okay.
Nice to see you again.
And you, sir.
So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly. They're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not commute or pardon of people?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to full pardon.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the pardons and commutation orders. Sir, this is an
Why don't we get that down so they can get them going right now?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
Yep, absolutely. This is a proclamation guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion based on the current crisis at the southern border. It invokes various executive powers relating to the ongoing invasion at the southern border.
Mr. President. What makes you confident that those are not going to be blocked by the courts?
I don't think they will. I don't think they can be. They're very straight up. Why don't you take that and go over here? Could you get him over here, not on the side angle? Do you mind? Just go right over here with your friends. Okay? I don't think they will. I don't think they can be. They're very straight up.
Mr. President, what makes you confident that those are not going to be blocked by the courts?
I don't think they will. I don't think they can be. They're very straight up. Why don't you take that and go over here? Could you get him over here, not on the side angle? Do you mind? Just go right over here with your friends. Okay?
Sir, this is an executive order realigning the United States Refugee Admission Program to better align with American principles and American interests.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. This next executive order is about protecting America from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. Again, crisis at the border, but it goes beyond that and it implicates other executive powers as well.
Okay.
The hell, did I have my mixer off that whole time?
President Trump, if cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Mr. President,
And that was actually
that Maduro would accept Venezuelans.
Say it.
How will you make sure that Maduro would accept Venezuelans?
Well, we're going to see on Venezuela. We're looking at Venezuela very strongly. It's a country I know very well for a lot of reasons, and it's well, it was a great country 20 years ago, and now it's a mess. Right?
Sir, can we expect ICE raids starting tomorrow in major cities?
What does that mean?
Can we expect ICE raids in major cities
I don't want
tomorrow?
to say when, but it's going to happen. Has to happen.
check.
Or we're not going to have a country left.
This is actually an executive order designating the cartels and other organizations to be foreign terrorist organizations.
It's a big one.
Yes, sir.
People have wanted to do this for years. So they are now.
I mean, are they though? Like, yeah, that's what I'm, it's like a sarcastic question. Like, are they though? Like, yeah. Damn, my mic was off the whole time. I gotta be doing mic checks. I need an engineer while I'm streaming. But yeah, like, if y'all deliberately sending people with drugs and sending drugs towards a country, that's like weaponry. Like, we gotta stop looking at these hard drugs like they not like weapons. You can use them as a weapon to destabilize a country, a nation. Then you just take over while everybody's fucked up. You get a whole country on fentanyl. What the fuck you think is gonna happen?
Now designated as terrorist organizations, foreign, and Mexico probably doesn't want that, but we have to do what's right. They're killing our people. They're killing 250, 300,000 American people a year, not 100, like has been reported for 15 years. It's probably 300,000.
This is an
So you
executive.
just said Mexico doesn't want that. How are you going to deal with this?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
Sir, this is an executive order entitled Protecting the American
Yo, he that bull.
People Against Invasion, which again deals with the southern border and the unprecedented admission of illegal aliens across the southern border.
What?
Ask them.
That's how are you going to deal with this?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
Sir, this is an executive order entitled Protecting the American People Against Invasion, which again deals with the southern border and the unprecedented admission of illegal aliens across the southern border.
What do you see the biggest national security threat to the U.S., Mr. President? What's going to be your priority on foreign policy?
Say?
What's going to be your priority on foreign policy? What do you see as the biggest national
Foreign
security
policy is a
threat?
big statement. I mean, my
She sound like an agent, but he can handle it. I've noticed in these first couple of days since he's been inaugurated that every time they're slipping in the agent, someone that's gonna like embarrass the event. I'm gonna talk about it later. We already know what's been going on. They had the gay lesbian preacher like yesterday or a day ago praying that he saved the mentally ill, like have compassion on them. We have compassion on them, like, but if you're going crazy and then going after the kids, like, we gotta rein this shit back in, like, but we're gonna go into more deeper. Like I said, it's like it's been implemented agents. Like, she's seen like one of them. She's like trying to take digs. She's asking like legitimate questions, but it's just, and he's just like a pro at this right now. So he's doing this and just listening to her like, yeah, like you're really not good at this, but keep going.
Priority on foreign policy. It's going to be to keep America safe. Very simple. It's a big question, though. That's a very big question.
Who is going to be the first foreign leader that you plan to meet, or who you will call tomorrow in your first day?
I've already been meeting people. I've been meeting them. I've been talking to them. I met with Prime Minister Trudeau.
And she's asking a bunch of blatant statements, questions, and things, and they're just like, they're very, very vague, and they're just basically a bunch of fluff. Like she's giving him an interview, and she really doesn't know anything, so she just. But in this context, it's more of a disruptive thing than more of you're like.
Trudeau, like all Governor Trudeau, I met with numerous foreign leaders. Go ahead.
Sir, what might be your first step?
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship.
Was that her again trying to ask another question? How many questions you gonna ask in a row, shorty?
I met with numerous foreign leaders. Go ahead.
Sir, what might be your first step?
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
That's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one in the court? That one.
Okay, this one is a touchy one because, if it's touchy because you know how mothers and fathers, they handle custody of kids differently. So, say if a dude that's illegal comes in the country and gets a female citizen pregnant, a birthright citizen, you say you are your father, more like you are who your father is, like your overall. And I can go deeper into why they say that, but right now let's just. So if you deport the father because you're illegal or you didn't come in the right way, God sends you back. The kid stays with the American citizen mother. Okay, that's pretty fucked up that you sent the father away, but this one right here will make the baby not automatically a citizen. And so would they deport the baby with the father? Which is interesting. But let's say the other way around. A legal woman comes in and gets pregnant by a man citizen here. They send her back, and of course she's going to take the baby. So in a way, this deal kind of protects. But you would say you won't need this deal if you just let the person who came over just stay, just because. So is that the goal? If I get into the country and I get somebody pregnant, I can stay. Would that be the goal? Like that sound like some ratchet. That sound like some Pookie shit, some Mexican Pookie. But nah, like maybe if I don't know. Do y'all understand like the difficulties of this type of action, which isn't really necessary, but it's necessary. I mean, everything is complicated now that one party has come in illegally and had a child with someone. Like, it just gets really complicated altogether. So I guess the previous administration or the previous deal is you're not going to port, you make it easier for that person to stay. I would say open the avenues up for that person to stay a little easier, but that's what I'm saying. So now they got first preference over a person that was in the application line longer than you. Or I came in and fucked somebody and had a baby, so I should stay long. I should stay first. I get first priority. Like, it's like this necessary, but it's fucked up.
Could be. We think we have good ground, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But, we'll see. We think we have very good ground. People have wanted to do this for decades.
Well, they just said that the Supreme Court judges or something like that put a hold on this order, that order right there for the meantime. So we'll see about that.
So this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States?
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh? You know what that means, right?
President Trump, did President Biden leave you a letter?
He may have. Wait. Don't they leave it in the desk? I don't know. Oh.
What's in there?
Thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we found this.
What's in there?
Wow. Thank you.
Can you read that on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and then make that determination.
That sounds great.
Yeah, because we might be saying something.
Peter, thank you very much. I may not have seen this for months.
Happy to help with
This is funny.
The passing of the torch.
I did. I left him one in the desk just like this.
What did you talk about?
He probably didn't care. He knew Biden probably left him in the desk and he didn't care so much he forgot. Like, I don't give a fuck. What if the letter was saying shit like, fuck you, Trump. You mother. Yeah, that's why he said I'm gonna read it first. You might be like, congratulations, but fuck you.
Unification of our country. You know, I didn't know that he gave a pardon to his family because he did it during my speech.
He didn't tell you in the limo?
No, he didn't tell me. No. He did it. They released it during my speech. I mean, during my speech. So all I could.
Well, Biden pardoned first his son probably like a month ago, and then his whole family. Like, what had y'all been doing? What had y'all been doing? Like, that's crazy. Like, what had y'all been doing? A pardon for what? From the past? Because the pardons sometimes have details in it, like for the past 10 years. I think he did his son join from like for the past 15 years, like some crazy number. Like, what? Like, that nigga, he ain't been alive for 30 years. You know what I mean? Like, fuck around, pardoned him his whole life. Like, but his son probably like 40, 50 or something, 50-year-old or something. But nah, like, you pardon your whole family. Interesting, right? Don't you find that suspicious? And then, like, you pardon Fauci too. Like, bro, you pardoning the motherfucking the super villains. Like, I'm trying to think of who he'd be. Who is Fauci? Who the fuck is Fauci will be? You pardon Fauci, bro. What the fuck are you doing, Biden? That's like the whole world want this motherfucking head on a stick, and you pardon him. Like, wow, like, thanks a lot. Arguably, some believe is to blame for millions and millions and millions of deaths during the pandemic. So you pardon Dr. Doom. No, Bill Gates is Dr. Doom. Bill Gates is Dr. Doom. Like, who fuck is Fauci? He like some slimy evil villain. But anyway, let's get back to this, man.
Could do is say, excuse me, I'd like to come back and speak some more. So now we were surprised by that. It's bad precedent, obviously.
Where are you thinking on tariffs on Mexico, given these actions you're signing on the border?
Well, we're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st.
25% on both, sir?
Sir,
On each.
On each, yes.
this is an executive order taking a large number of executive actions to secure our southern border.
Okay. Sounds reasonable.
President Trump, we remember 4 years ago, Barack Obama had told you that the top threat to the country was going to be North Korea. Did Joe Biden tell you what he thinks the top threat to the country is?
No.
Why not?
I think we have a lot of them. Right now, I think we have a lot. I think North Korea turned out to be good. I was very friendly with him. He liked me. I liked him. We got along very well. They thought that was a tremendous threat. Now, he is a nuclear power. But we got along. I think he'll be happy to see him coming back.
And
I think he has tremendous condo capability. He's got a lot of shoreline. Thank you, sir.
Are you going to work with countries from South America to coordinate on immigration?
About who?
Well, immigration in general.
This is an executive order. Sorry, sir.
I'm fine with legal immigration. I like it. We need people. And I'm absolutely fine with it. We want to have it. We need it because we're going to have a lot of companies coming in to avoid tariffs. You know, if you don't want tariffs, all you have to do is build your plant in the U.S. So we're going to have a lot of workers coming in. But we have to have legal immigration.
Do you have a date in mind for when you want to put in on the China tariffs that you talked about?
Which one?
60%?
No. You're talking about which? Say it again.
The China tariffs, the broad
China?
tariffs.
Well, as you know, I put on large tariffs on China, and they've really been forced to leave them. And if we didn't leave them, you wouldn't have one steel mill that's open in this country because they were dumping massive amounts of steel. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars from China because they were unable to terminate the tariffs I put on China because it was too much money and the budgets didn't work and other reasons too. No, I mean, we're going to have meetings and calls with President Xi. I spoke to President Xi last week, as you know. Did you know that? I had a very good phone call.
But please start with NATO at this moment. Are you planning to meet your NATO allies?
No, NATO has to pay more money. NATO has to pay 5%. We're in the Ukraine war by $200 billion more than NATO. It's ridiculous because it affects them a lot more. We have an ocean in between. And we've spent $200 billion more on Ukraine than NATO has spent. And they've got to equalize.
Did you talk?
He said 200 billion more, so it could have been like 100 trillion. But they gave 200 billion more. Even just say 200 billion is just outrageous. Like, what is the money going to? Like, I feel like they just money laundering and stealing money. Like, them politicians ain't shit.
Need to talk to Xi about the Ukraine war.
Yeah.
Because China and Brazil together has a proposal to bring Russia and Ukraine to talk.
That's good. I'm ready.
When are you going to talk with the Brazilian president?
How did Brazil get involved?
Brazil's involved.
This is a new one.
When are you going to talk to Lula?
Are you from Brazil?
I'm from Brazil.
When are you talking? That's why they're involved, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I said. Is she an agent? Is she an agent? She just keeps coming with a bunch of like fluff from the left questions, like no pun intended, almost like.
When are you going to talk with the Brazilian president? How do you see your relationship with Latin America and Brazil?
Great. Should be great. They need us much more than we need them. We don't need them. They need us. Everybody needs us.
It sounds like you will not proceed with additional China tariffs necessarily, depending on how talks go with President Xi. Is that correct?
What does that define that?
Well, you were asking, you pledged in the campaign potentially a 10% tariff on China or as much as
Because of fentanyl.
Right. So I'm asking where
That's only because of fentanyl. There are other things too.
Are additional China
And a very
tariffs?
big thing is the Panama Canal. China controls the Panama Canal. What's that all about? They're not supposed to be good. When Jimmy Carter gave it, which was a terrible mistake, he didn't do it. He didn't give it to China. He gave it to Panama. And China controls the Panama Canal.
So are China tariffs
And we're not
still
going to
okay?
allow that to happen.
He is that guy, yo. Cause I learned a little bit about that a couple weeks ago. Like, seems like it goes deeper, and they try to control entities around America, so they'll be able to not attack us easier. But I don't know. But it's all about a lot of times how they can maneuver their ships into different zones and areas to strike and attack, I guess. But like, if you control a lot of these ports and areas and ways you can get into closer to countries, it's a big thing. I mean, with trade too, so man, he that bull, man. Like, he going at the stuff that really is right, that needs to be fixed. Like you said, like it goes deep of who built the Panama Canal and everything. It's a long story, but so they gave it back to Panama, and somehow China controls it now. Like, what the fuck? China not even over here.
Are they still on the table, or is that?
We're not going to allow that to happen.
Thank you, sir.
What can we expect of the countries in NATO that spend the least amount of money, like Spain, France, below the 5%?
Spain is very low. And yet, aren't they a BRICS nation?
What?
They're a BRICS nation, Spain. You know what a BRICS nation is? You'll figure it out. But, and if the BRICS nations want to do that, that's okay, but we're going to put at least a 100% tariff.
What does that mean? Is that like a slang for Britain? BRICS nation. It made me about to have me look it up. Hold on, let me see. BRICS nation. I bet this guy had a whole bunch of fucking Google searches after he said that. BRICS nation. BRICS. Interesting. BRICS. Wikipedia is an intergovernmental organization consisting of 10 countries. Oh, some allegiance, huh? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates. So basically, it don't got nothing to do with us. Let's go deeper. It's making me curious. It is considered to be a counterpart and alternate to the G7 bloc of the world's largest economies and combined representative nearby half of the world's population. So it seems that America and Europe and United Nations, UK are not in this, which is interesting. Is Russia part of Europe? Nah, see, Russia. So what does this mean? It's America and Europe against the world. What does this mean? Like, all right, let's go back. I'll go into that deeper. BRICS nation with a C. All right, I'll go into that later.
Tariff on the business they do with the United States. You know what the BRICS is, right? You guys know.
Brazil,
you know
Russia.
what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying.
So Spain is not in the BRICS.
So it's not even a threat. In fact, since I made that statement, Biden said, well, they have us over a barrel. I said, no, we have them over a barrel. And there's no way they're going to be able to do that.
This is an executive order relating to
100% tariffs, those countries, like Spain.
As a BRICS nation, yes.
But
They'll have 100% tariff if they so much as even think about doing what they thought.
Can you explain how it's...
Which, and therefore they'll give it up immediately. So will China give it up.
Sir, this is about reforming the system of hiring in the federal government to ensure that merit is the lodestar of hiring decisions.
As per the Supreme Court.
Other matters. Yes, sir.
What?
This is a big deal. Merit. Our country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
Mr. President, you would say you would end the Russia-Ukraine war on the first day in office. Where do things stand right now, and how do you think that...
Well, there's only half a day. I have another half a day left. We'll see. We want to get it done.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Governmental Efficiency, known as DOGE.
Okay, that's a big one.
Is Elon Musk going to get a West Wing office?
No, he's getting an office for about...
See, this what I think also is the established machine, the lobbyists, the inside traders, everyone that's just filthy in the inside, don't like. There's someone from the outside, like Elon Musk and the strong Republicans that Vivek, they both are just like so biased and righteous, like they're gonna be stumbling upon a bunch of like fucked up illegal shit with the money going on. And I think that's what they're scared of. And I mean, it's basically, it's almost like an act of war against the bad guys what's happening right now. And like, man, protect these generals. Like, they're like, protect our generals, man, because they gonna be mad as hell when they start, especially Elon Musk. He got the technology. He gonna be in all their fucking databases. What y'all doing? What y'all been doing? What y'all been doing? Motherfuckers. Like, motherfuckers scam is shut down. Like
20 people that we're hiring to make sure that these get implemented. We have a problem in this country. You sign an executive order, it doesn't get done for 6 months. As an example, when we allow the J6 hostages to go out, it might not be approved under the old days for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. You know, they had a good ruling from the Supreme Court, and it's like nothing happened. That ruling was 6 months ago, you know that. And it was like they didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Mr. President, are you commuting the sentences of anyone who assaulted a police officer on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at 2 police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them we got to give them a break.
Trump deflect game is crazy, and it's only because he's know they're going to keep coming at this angle. Like, it's basically, it's a left wing angle. Like, of course you invited left wing and right wing reporters here. So
Is there clemency in your actions today for anyone?
Well, it would be a
who
part.
assaulted
That would be a
police
part.
officer?
The one I'm talking about would be a part of it.
Should there be punishment for the people who assaulted law enforcement officers that day?
Well, I will say this. They've been in jail for a long time already. I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time. So they've already been in jail for a long time. These people have been destroyed. What they've done to these people is outrageous. There's rarely been anything like it in history, in the history of our country. And even people that were aggressive, and in many cases, I believe they happen to be outside agitators, but, you know, what do I know, right? But I think they were outside agitators. There were outside agitators involved. And
I can go deep in on that too, but on the surface, it would just look like a bunch of crazy motherfuckers trying to storm the Capitol. But you go deeper behind it, it definitely, you know, the puppet masters are definitely good at what they do. That's why all I can say, they know how to. They're not even invoke a bad situation. They invoke a bad situation and set all the conditions for it to be a disaster, you know, and then you look bad, like, what the fuck?
And obviously the FBI was involved because Ray admitted the FBI was involved. Didn't he say 23 people, indirectly or directly, were involved? And it was then 26. That's a lot of people. Now we have, we got to take care of these people. Have been treated so badly. It's never happened before. What happened in Seattle, where they took over a big portion of the city? What happened in Portland, where they burn down the city every day and people die? Nothing happened to anybody. But they go after these people violently. I mean, they're still going after brand new people. They found somebody else with a picture. There's never been anything like this. And you know, it's almost 100%. Think of this. Almost 100% of the people are convicted. 100%. It's Washington, D.C. People go into a trial and they say, oh, I have a wonderful lawyer and I didn't do anything wrong. And they end up in shackles almost immediately and jail. No, we're not going to let it happen.
About doing that, you have some interest in buying it, but is there any other option that will satisfy you?
About what?
Greenland, instead of buying it.
Finland?
Greenland.
Oh, Greenland. Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security. And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think it's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it. The people of Greenland are not happy with Denmark, as you know. I think that.
But isn't like Greenland cold? You know what I heard today, that Greenland is cold and freezing and icy, and Iceland is actually good and nice weather. Like, we don't want Greenland. What's up with Iceland? Let's see what's up with Iceland.
Happy with us. We had representatives, my son and representatives went up there 2 weeks ago, and they like us. So we'll see what happens. But Greenland is necessary, not for us, it's necessary for international security. You have Russian boats all over the place, you have China boats all over the place, warships, and they can't maintain it.
Do you plan to meet President Putin?
Who?
Do you plan to meet President Putin, sir?
I'll be meeting with President Putin.
Yo, you that boy, man. I'm trying to think if I ever seen any executive signings. Usually, like Obama and Biden, I believe, I think I remember them doing or sitting it down, but I never sat down and actually watched it, so I wouldn't know if they would go in depth. But I've never seen such amazing policies being like this is just, all right, I'm gonna just say from an American standpoint, because I mean, to other countries that they want to control, just for example, Greenland, we want to control Greenland. This ain't so amazing to them, but just from of what makes sense, like it's like.
When do you think?
I don't know, I can't speak.
Do you know what your first foreign trip might be, sir?
So first foreign trip typically has been with UK, but I did it with Saudi Arabia last time because they agreed to buy $450 billion worth of our product. I said, I'll do it, but you have to buy American product, and they agreed to do that. They bought $450 billion. It was the least reported story I've ever been involved in.
And now, where are you planning to go now?
Well, I don't know. If Saudi Arabia wanted to buy another 450 or 500, we'll up it for all the inflation.
Mr. President, you say you were going
think
to
I
end
probably
the
will.
war's first day. How do you plan to end the Ukraine war?
Well, we're going to try and get it done as quickly as possible.
Do you want to push Israel and Saudi
It should have
Arabia?
never started. You know, the war with Ukraine.
Yo, they throwing around hundreds of billions of dollars like it's like pocket change. Like, give me $1 million. Come on. All this money the world throwing around, I'm pretty sure y'all can probably give everybody on the world $1 million. I'm pretty sure. If the whole world came together, all these countries with these billions of dollars they throwing around, they talking about hundreds of billions. Like, they not saying 300 million, they saying 200 billion. Like, bro.
Ukraine and Russia should have never started. It would have never started if I were president.
Will you push Israel and Saudi Arabia to normalize relations?
I don't think I have to push them. I think it's going to happen, but maybe not quite yet. But they'll end up being in the Accords, the Abraham Accords.
President Trump,
I think Saudi Arabia will end up being in the Abraham Accords.
This year?
Could be.
Do you want?
That is hella interesting what's going on, what they're saying. I don't even think this is anything part of policy. But I'm not sure if the dude that's asking the question now is an agent or not. It's just deep. Isn't it supposed to be like separation of church and state too? Hold on.
Want to push Israel and Saudi
It should have
Arabia?
never started. You know, the war with Ukraine and Russia should have never started. It would have never started if I were president.
Will you push Israel and Saudi Arabia to normalize relations?
I don't think I have to push them. I think it's going to.
The normalized religions? Like, what does that mean? Like, to combine into like in one religion or something? Or what does that mean?
Happen, but maybe.
And then he says they'll have to go before the Abrahamic courts. What is going? What? There's some gems in here that I know people probably miss. Did he say normalized religion? Let's see. Let's do Abrahamic courts. What the fuck is this about? Accords? He must have said accords. All right. Abraham Accords. Does it mean like Abraham as in like the president Abraham, or Abraham as in the Abrahamic religions? You would say that will come through Abraham, after Abraham, maybe Jacob with Israel and Saudi Arabia and all them stuff. I guess where the rest of the brothers and sons went, right? All right. But why I say, well, one says United States Department of State, so that made me think, was it some organized American agency? But let's just read Wikipedia. The Abraham Accords are bilateral agreements on Arab-Israel normalization signed between Israel and the United Arab Emirates and between Israel and Bahrain on February 2020. Normalization. What does that mean though? Like, y'all agree to peace, or y'all forming one religion? This is weird. It's like all these I need to do a separate video on. All right.
Not quite yet, but they'll end up being in the Accords, the Abraham Accords.
President Trump,
I think Saudi Arabia will end up being in the Abraham Accords.
This year?
Could be, but soon, not in a very long way. Oh, look at that, it says TikTok. My, what is that all about?
First, we have Alaska, sir. This is an executive order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about Anwar?
I believe that would be included in aspects of the order.
So we're opening up Anwar.
On the TikTok piece, President Trump, you and your members of your team now used to warn about the dangers of TikTok spying on Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that anymore?
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal, or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless if I don't approve it. It has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If it,
I mean, what does that even mean? Like, without America's business or Americans on the app, the whole world uses the app though, right? But I guess so many users from America who probably would fuck the app up. The condition of, not fuck the app up, but more like put the company in danger, like, you know. Because I'm thinking, if the Americans don't use TikTok, the rest of the world, it's a whole bunch. I'm pretty sure Asian companies, China, but China probably got censorship all in their country, but then they got us over here on the app doing crazy shit, like, right? And then, like they said, all the data and stuff they collecting from America.
if I don't do the deal, it's worthless, worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion, $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half. In other words, I think the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth, it could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy, the numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've had.
The CEO, did he say that he's open to that idea?
Who?
The CEO of TikTok is around.
Oh, I think he'd probably like it. Because he's got nothing. I mean, they really have nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president a right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it a little bit or a lot, depends on them. But remember, they make telephones in China, they make all sorts of things in China, and nobody ever complains about that. Here they're complaining about this. There's so many different products made in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. But, you know, I went on TikTok, and I won young people up by 36%, Peter. And Republicans typically don't do too well with young people. But it's a different Republican Party.
Would the U.S. government buy a portion of TikTok then, or how would it get that 50%?
No, you'd take 50% of TikTok for the approval that TikTok can continue in business. And they'd have a great partner. The U.S. would be their partner. But the U.S. essentially would be paid for doing that half of the value of TikTok.
Would there be a private sector owner as
Could
well in
be,
the
yeah,
US?
could be a lot. Tell you what, every rich person has called me about TikTok.
You wanted to block TikTok. Why did you change your mind?
Because I got to use it. And remember, TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, I don't know.
Are you
I think, to be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that. But you know, when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China, TikTok, I think TikTok is not their biggest problem. But there's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, there's no value. So if we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like it?
Know what is making me think now? Because peace to the God, Rashad Jamal, free him. I seen something on Instagram. It was like, this is the he did a comment on a TikTok post that about the banning things, and he was like, this is why they wanted to ban it. At first, Trump was like, yo, it's a danger, this and that, and I think he really believed that. I think the Biden administration became the administration of censorship. So when young people, a lot of researchers and people that's dropping esoteric knowledge, real history, hidden history, like waking people up are on there too. So I believe the Biden administration, they picked the torch back up and really approved it to the point where it's almost like they set it up to shut it down. But I think they was banking on winning with Kamala or with Biden for the next term, so they wanted to leave it open, but they was basically gearing up to shut it down to just, they was about to straight put a hold on free speech. And then he won, and it just landed in his lap like, wait a minute, it's not as bad as what it looked like. And it seemed like the people, the type of information that I believe is good, that wakes people up, deep shit, secrets, all. You can go on TikTok now and you'll see a whole bunch of, they'll say it's conspiracy theories, but if you dive deep in some of these things, you'd be like, oh shit. So I think that's what the Biden administration was trying to shut it down, like, and then he just was like, nah, yeah, let them cook, like, let these people cook, let these young people. It's more than, of course, the young people with all the dances and all the goofy shit, but this motherfucker's really on there dropping some knowledge, and he probably like, nah, let them cook, man. Now, I mean, he might later be like, oh no, they get not. It looked like he don't give a fuck about it. He'll only open the whole vault of all the secrets, which is why he's dangerous. They don't want him in there. He'll open up all the vaults of the secret. He don't give a fuck. Like, and here we go. We going into the age of exposing everything. TikTok gonna be at the front runner of exposing everything without the aspect of thinking that China could be stealing our data and different things like that.
Yeah.
So if you don't have to go 90 days when you shut them down?
Does Biden ever do news conferences like this? How many news conferences, Peter, has he done like this?
Like this?
None.
0.
And it would be 0 for the next infinity For infinity, it would be zero.
Mr.
So
President,
when
when
we
do you plan
plan
to talk to
Elon
President
Musk going to help implement the executive orders? I think you mentioned
No,
the implementation in your
Elon.
I think the whole world just looking like it's giving a vibe like the whole world loves him. It really is, unless you just like you the evil motherfuckers in the world, the Sodom and Gomorrah motherfuckers, the weirdies, the sexual divergence. Like they probably watching this too. Like this is entertaining. Like, like they probably can't wait till he come and meet with every fucking president and leader. Like I can't wait till Trump come in town. It's gonna be like motherfuckers gonna be in the mirror shaving, getting nice and ready. Like yeah.
No, he's
My boy Trump coming to town. Allah Akbar. The Arab motherfuckers gonna be happy to see him. Putin gonna be happy to see him. Fucking Kim Jong gonna be happy to see him. Fucking every damn person, the leader in the world gonna be happy when you go visit him. Like, yeah, what's up? It's gonna be fun 4 years, man. It's gonna be rough though, cause you know it ain't gonna be easy. Like motherfuckers that's been ruling this world ain't gonna like this. But they don't have no power with the media no more. I mean, they still have a hold on a lot of the Democrats, which is sad. But I don't know.
Elon is very busy sending rocket ships up to various places with lots of satellites on them.
What is your reaction to the confirmation of Marco Rubio, and what does it mean for Latin America?
Which one?
Marco Rubio as the Secretary of
Marco
State.
Rubio. You said Marco.
Marco Rubio.
Yeah, I think he's great. I think Marco's doing a fantastic job. I think he's going to get a lot of votes. I think he's going to be at 90% or something. I mean, I'm hearing very good. People know him. They know him in the Senate. They know he's good. He's doing a good job. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen with that. He's got some very strong ideas now, Marco.
You signed
Which one did you sign, Mr. President?
Did you sign the TikTok order?
Yeah.
Yes, that was just signed. Marco Rubio said yes, he's
Just signed.
How many
still changing Venezuela, changing power. Are you still committed with Maduro leaving power in Venezuela?
Well, we're going to find out about that too, because we're going to probably stop buying oil from Venezuela. We don't need their oil.
Another embargo like the first term?
Well, it could be, but we don't want to buy. We don't have to buy their oil. We have plenty of oil for ourselves, so
President Trump,
that'll change Venezuela quite a bit.
President Trump, there was a lot of concern about this during the campaign. A question that only works today. Are you a dictator on day one?
No.
What the fuck? Who are these agents? I mean, you could probably look at it like, cause I've never seen no president sit down. Was it the first day, second day? He just like, yo, he getting at it, like. But if we're in the behind the scenes, all this stuff needs to been done immediately, like years ago. Like we passed due on a lot of this stuff that he's pushing. So, who's these agents though? Like who? They're just randomly like, not galvanizing questions, more disruptive questions, more. It's like a question where you paint somebody in a certain light, even if they not that person or not. The question already went out there and people already heard it, so they already gonna be like, yeah, like. So it's like, bro, like you could have asked. The people want to know, are you going to be the greatest president of our generation? Like, that's what motherfuckers most I'll be hearing. Like, yo, this motherfucker about to be next level. Like, so I just don't get it. Like, I mean, of course, they surrounded him with agents. He's going to be surrounded by agents. And I'm not talking about the protected kind. I'm talking about motherfuckers. I mean, he got to make sure his shit tight. Because you know they're going to be trying every day on his downfall. I'm even going as far as the Secret Service. I don't think they could be infiltrated as easily. I think they more of a separate entity from the FBI and the CIA. But I don't know. But it's gonna be an agent every day. He gotta keep his eye open, whether it's a reporter or people close to him. It's gonna be crazy.
Oil for ourselves, so
President Trump,
that'll change Venezuela quite a bit.
President Trump, there was a lot of concern about this during the campaign. A question that only works today. Are you a dictator on day one?
No. I can't imagine even being called that. No, I believe in the sanctity of the vote. The Democrats didn't because they cheated like dogs, but I believe in the sanctity, and this was too big to rig. This last election was just too big to rig.
Mr. President,
But,
when do you plan to
really
speak
the
to-
opposite.
When do you plan to speak to President Putin?
Could be very soon.
And you talked a bit about Ukraine and Russia, but how long do you think it would take to end that conflict? And
I have to speak to President Putin. We're going to have to find out. He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. I mean, he's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been over in about 1 week. And now you're into 3 years, right? So he can't be thrilled. It's not making him look very good. Now, eventually, you know, I mean, it's a big machine, so things will happen, but I think it'd be very well off to end that war. We have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. About 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers are killed. Russia's bigger, they have more soldiers to lose. But that's no way to run a country.
What did your TikTok order do, Mr. President?
It just gave me the right to sell it or close it. Essentially with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it. And we'll make that determination. And we may have to get an approval from China too, I'm not sure. But I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act, I think. But it's good for China if it gets approved.
Mr. President, so you're not guaranteeing that TikTok will be around after 90 days from today?
No, but it could very well be. It makes sense for it to be, because it's got tremendous value. But if we create the value by approving, you know, in other words, that approval gives it tremendous value. If that's the case, then we should be entitled to 50% as a country. You understand? You haven't heard that one before, right? That's called a joint venture. And nobody ever thought that way.
Over your partner?
Well, I don't know. I think you have a lot of people that would be interested in TikTok with the United States as a partner.
Mr. President, what was it like walking into the Oval Office this evening? for the
Oh,
first
what a
time?
great feeling. One of the better feelings I've ever had.
Do you like this town better now than in 2017?
Well, we're very experienced now.
Yo, he that bull. Hold on, I'm about to turn down my heat. I'm cooking, and I got this robe on. Come out this joint. Hold on, come out the robe first. I'm on fire. My heat just be ridiculous, like, because I'm on into some off shit. Yo, my thermostat is downstairs, I think, and it's cold downstairs. So, and obviously it's probably fucking 5 degrees outside. This weather is ridiculous right now, but it's like my heat is on 24/7. Like that's ridiculous. Hold on, put some music on for y'all for a minute. That shit ridiculous. For my heat to calm the fuck down, I would have to turn that shit to fucking 20 degrees. Set the because right now outside it's probably like 2 degrees. About to roll another blizzy. All right, let's get back into it. I'll try to commentate, but I'll just let it keep rolling.
Feelings I've ever had.
Do you like this town better now than in 2017?
Well, we're very experienced now. You would say feelings I've ever.
Did he say did she ask him, did I like this town better? Do you like this town better, like Washington, D.C.? Hold up.
Do you like this town better now than in 2017?
Well, we're very experienced now. You would say nobody's ever had experience like I have. I've dealt with some very good people. I've dealt with some very bad people, and I know who the bad ones are and the good ones are. You know, don't forget, I was very successful in primarily the real estate business. And people used to say, who's worse, a politician or a vicious real estate developer? And I'd always say, you know, the real estate developer is far worse. But after about 3 months and getting to know scum like Adam Schiff and other people like that, I said, no, actually, real estate people are quite nice by comparison.
You said you plan to speak with...
Bro, what's funny about him is, like, he gonna call you trash, like, straight to your face. Like, he's not gonna be fake about it. Like, it's crazy.
President Putin soon. What about President Zelensky, and what's your message?
Yeah, I would, but he's told me he wants to make a deal. Zelensky wants to make a deal.
What kind of
I don't know if Putin does. He might not. I don't know. He should make a deal.
Okay.
I think he's destroying Russia by not making a deal. I think Russia's going to be in big trouble. You take a look at their economy. You take a look at the inflation in Russia. So I would hope. I got along with him great, and you know, I would hope he wants to make a deal.
Mr. President, are you keeping U.S. sanctions on Russia until he makes a deal?
Well, sanctions or tariffs. I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps your dollar stronger. I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I use sanctions on Iran. Iran was broke. When I left office, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, none. They were flat broke. And October 7th would have never happened. And I think you all know that. It would have never happened. They had no money. Now they're rich, but you know, they're weakened in a different way. I would say that the one attack by Israel really set them back. It really set them back. The Pagers and others. You know, the attack on air defense was that was a bad attack for Iran.
What? Oh, wait, hold up. What was that hit in the back of the pages and stuff blew up, right? Did he just say Israel did that? Hold up. Because I'm trying to think. I thought I remembered a story that... what's that? I did a video on that. I can't remember. Yo, so much be happening, crazy shit that it's just like I said, our attention span is just so low. Like, we just like... it can blow up a whole country, and a month later we forgot that happened. Like, oh yeah, they did blow up. like, bro, remember the pages? Motherfuckers' phones and pages just start blowing up, like blowing people. Like, yo, like how y'all tap into that frequency and just blow up your ops like that? Like, I gotta look back into it. I think that was Israel that did that. Israel ain't shit. That's pretty crafty, but that's still fucked up.
Rich, but you know, they're weakened in a different way. I would say that the one attack by Israel really set them back. It really set them back. The Pagers and others. You know, the attack on air defense was that was a bad attack for Iran.
What are you signing now, sir?
It's an executive order relating to reforms to the federal workforce, including to the senior executive service.
We're getting rid of all of the cancer. I call it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden administration.
How confident are you, Mr. President, that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of the deal?
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident. But I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the 2 states?
Gaza, boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place it's really got to be rebuilt in a different way.
Do you plan to help rebuilding Gaza?
I might. You know, Gaza is interesting. It's a phenomenal location. On the sea, the best weather. You know, everything's good. It's like some beautiful things could be done with it, but it's very interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with Gaza.
How do you see the future in governance for Gaza? Who should?
Well, it depends. I can't imagine you could have, well, you certainly can't have the people that were there. Most of them are dead, by the way, right? Most of them are dead. But they didn't exactly run it well. Run viciously and badly.
Sorry,
So you can't have that.
Mr. President, on TikTok, sir, will you pause any decision on Chinese tariffs until you know what the resolution on TikTok will be? Are those things
No,
connected at
if
all?
China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China. Don't forget, China charges us tariffs, and we charge them very little, except for what I did. I put a lot of, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. But until I came along, China never paid 10 cents to this country. They ripped us off, and they never paid anything. But like, if we wanted to make a deal with TikTok, and it was a good deal, and China wouldn't approve it, then I think ultimately they'd approve it, because it would put tariffs on China. Maybe. I'm not saying I would, but you certainly could do that. And if we said...
What I love about him is he says shit and says things that are happening, what happened, what's going to happen. Like stuff that we wouldn't even never know about. The normal everyday people wouldn't even know about it. And I can just go and start looking up what he's saying and be like, oh shit. They put them tariffs on them, or it was 20%, and then was and like he said they wasn't paying anything into America, and they probably was sinking their teeth into America with the with business and industrial selling products here, basically just like I said, instead of we paying into our own businesses, homegrown companies to make these products, we buying all they shit, and like trade price ridiculous for years, and somebody gotta set the shit straight, man.
Well, if you're not going to approve it, then that's a certain hostility, and we'll put tariffs of 25, 30, 40, 50%, even 100%. And if we did that, I think they'd approve it.
President Trump, you've seen the other living presidents a couple times in the last few months. If you ever had to call on one of them for advice about anything that's going on here, which one would you call?
It's an interesting. Well, I thought Bill Clinton was a very good politician. I don't think he was used properly. I think they disrespected him. When Hillary was running, he came back and he said, you know, you better get up to Michigan and Wisconsin. You remember that, Peter? Every house has a Trump sign on it. And they all laughed at him because the Republicans hadn't won Michigan or Wisconsin for decades, long time. And they all laughed at Bill Clinton. Like, the hell does he know? And he turned out to be right, because I won both of them. And then we just won both in this election, too. We won Wisconsin and Michigan and every other swing state. We won all the swing states, all 7. They talked about 7 swing states. We won them all. So, but Bill Clinton he had a great political sense, I think.
You looked like you were having a good conversation with President Obama at President
I was. And you'd like to know what everybody wants to know. And I wouldn't want to, but we were having some crazy conversation.
About?
Why are you asking a question like that? You know, I don't think you want to know. You might not.
You just signed.
You might be insulted.
It's an executive order relating to holding former government officials accountable for unlawful disclosure of sensitive information. This next one, sir, is a declaration of a national energy emergency.
So you also
That's
have
a big
several-
one. You know what that allows you to do? That means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of an emergency.
President Trump, at some point will you use...
This next one, sir, is...
I'm daydreaming about him when they were saying about him having a convo with Trump, and then he just said to her, "You might be offended." That was just some guy talk. They probably was back there like, yeah, that. And they probably was talking about Kamala like that bitch. My bad, YouTube. My bad. It was an accident. I know that B word was kind of strong right there, but that itch. Everybody was talking man shit. Basically locker room talk. Shit, might have been talking that shit like, yeah, all these people are puppets. They might have been talking that straight dictator language. That's why that's why Michelle didn't show up with Obama. She like, oh, you rubbing shoulders with him? Like I say, when you become president, man, you're part of an elite group though. Like, you just wouldn't understand. Like, you wouldn't understand. You wasn't president. You'd be talking shit the whole campaign, and then when the president win, I was just talking shit. Obama probably was like, I was just talking shit, man. You know, I was just trying to win. He like, but welcome back, my boy. Shit, they probably all happy with fucking like, but a lot of people say that Obama probably was still running the country behind the scenes, but what if Biden was probably like, no, I'm not listening to you, Barack, I'm the president now. And then he started really fucking the country up, like, and he was like, oh shit, gotta get this guy out of here, he's old and demented. Like, that's probably why they got his ass out of there. He probably was fucking shit up. They needed somebody really corrupt in there that's gonna listen.
There's a declaration of a national energy emergency.
So you also
That's
have
a big
several-
one. You know what that allows you to do? That means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of an emergency.
President Trump, at some point will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
Yeah, oh, good. Yeah. I will.
Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know, because I just got here.
What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for, what, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is going out live.
And I got to read this letter, too. Because of you, I found this letter.
I can read it for you.
It's interesting. Yeah, I know you would.
Well, funny. They need to give him a job.
But is it anything
He plays off Trump.
No, I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out? Immediately.
They went the secrets to the fucking... They want him to reveal the secrets to the universe on day one. Like, because everybody know he the only one that, like, is willing to expose the whole... Damn near the whole Matrix. Like, like, and it's going to be rough. Because we seen in the first administration that he was slowly starting to say shit during press conferences that was like, what did he say? Like, and you knew he was trying to expose, and then that's when we all got into looking into the deep state and all that shit. The motherfucker. Like, a lot of us knew when he was, that's probably why they came with COVID. They came with COVID so strong, they were just like, yo, we gotta shut this dude up. Like, we need to keep people paying attention to something else, cause we seen it. We was like, is this motherfucker exposing the, like, the deep state? And they don't like that shit. They don't like that shit. Let's keep going.
I can't imagine it's an enemy, or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting.
And with the events today and yesterday, was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of security concern?
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people.
What did they say?
But
that's also not a problem. But Trump might actually leak some shit. Did he say shut down by drones? It almost sounds like he's saying that he's admitting that our government, that's our drones. Like,
no security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty.
Shut down to drones. Is that what he said? Is that what he said?
Easily if you're sophisticated. They're very because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people. No, it was just cold weather. And we made a good move because, first of all...
What? I'm trying to, read between the lines here. Is he saying that that's America's shit? Or is he saying it's like some extraterrestrial motherfuckers they know about and that's policing us? Or something that sounded crazy. I don't know if I'm hearing things wrong.
You can shut that down pretty easily.
Was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of security?
Because he was just talking about the drones, and then Bull came with the follow-up question. Maybe he knew. Maybe he's trying to set up these questions.
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people.
Unless Trump just thought he was correlating to maybe the drones would cause some kind of security risk, so that's what Trump answered. They can just hit them drones with an EMP or something. I don't know what the hell. But let's go.
No, it was just cold weather. And we made a good move because, first of all, I thought it was incredible in the Capitol today. You know why I liked it? Because I got great reviews on that speech. I got great reviews. Can you believe it? They actually were fair. Maybe the fake news is changing.
Unleashing energy production.
Unleashing energy production. But I thought it was, I think having it in the Capitol is great. It's obviously, you can take care of the people you have to take care of. The city was booming. And if we would have done it outside, people would have been hurt because it was really cold. It was looked sunny. But when you stood outside for 10 minutes, people were running back in. It was really cold and really windy. The wind brings it down a lot.
Yeah, we know. This shit out right now is fucking brutal. Usually in the winter, we get maybe a week tops of single-digit weather where I'm from in East Coast, Philadelphia, tri-state area. Maybe 2 weeks tops. But after it hits that extreme one-digit temperatures for about a week, it starts slowly warming back up to at least 20, 30 degrees a day or something, 40 degrees. But this might be that week because this last week been like I said, I've been under the weather the last 3 days. I feel like I have a fever for the last 3 days. First day was light. Second day I was like, oh, I'm fucked up. You the fever, you got the chills, headache here and there. Now it's my third day. I'm slowly bouncing back. That's why you see me rolling up. So when you got the fever or you the flu, you can't drink, smoke, nothing. You don't want to turn up anything. You just I need sleep. So I got my sleep in and I'm back. But yeah.
So we made the right decision. You couldn't have stayed. I don't think you could have had it out.
It was cold.
You know how cold it was today. It was, people went out for a little while just to test it. They couldn't stay out more than 10 minutes. They all came back in. So we would have had a disaster if we did that, and people would have been hurt.
The unlawful disclosure video, is that related to the Hunter Biden situation?
Which one?
The one on unlawful disclosures by federal officials, is that related?
No, I think it's just more general than that. It's not Hunter Biden. I was surprised that President Biden would go and pardon his whole family, because that makes him look very guilty. You know, I could have pardoned my family. I could have pardoned myself, my family. And I said, if I do that, it's going to make me look very guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. After that first term, and if he knew he was wrong of anything, that he knew that would be like fucked up, criminal, whatever, illegal, anything, Trump could have just pardoned himself. Like, fuck it. Because you pardon yourself, you're gonna look super guilty, and you can't really run for a second election. They're gonna be like, what? Like, then they'd been calling him a dictator, like, oh, you're a dictator, and he pardoned himself, and then he's running again. So that's really interesting that he didn't pardon himself after the first term, but then Biden, he lost, and now he's leaving out, and he pardons himself and his whole family. Don't you find that suspicious?
Sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be would go and pardon his whole family, because that makes him look very guilty. You know, I could have pardoned my family. I could have pardoned myself, my family. And I said, if I do that, it's going to make me look very guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now, because I would have shown that you're guilty. But by pardoning his brother or brothers, by pardoning all of those people that he pardoned, by pardoning J6, the Unselect Committee, they destroyed all of the documents. They deleted all of the information. There's no information. And a lot of the information pertains to Nancy Pelosi, because she was given 100, I mean, you know this, it's on tape with her daughter. Nancy Pelosi was responsible for not taking advantage of 10,000 soldiers or 1,000. You wouldn't have you could have used 400. It was a relatively small crowd. It wasn't the crowd that was at the mall. It was a small crowd. So I was a little bit surprised that he did it, because it makes him look guilty. I mean, he's going to have to live with it. Now, with that being said, it's unbelievable precedent it creates.
Bro, the corruption is so obvious, and it's crazy that it's so obvious, but the people on the left are just like, they don't hear it. Like, they be like, oh yeah, but he's racist, he's a piece of shit. Like, yo, did you just, it's so blatant. Because why would you need to pardon the January 6th committee? I'm pretty sure everyone knows January 6th. They say it so many damn times. So the committee was the people that probably, like I said, collected the information, the data of that day. Okay, they probably did like a little private investigation, just the whole event of everybody storming the Capitol and stuff. So the theory is, after he lost, it didn't win the second election, they try to make it out like he incited a whole bunch of people, but shit, they probably was protesting because he probably won the last election. But they said that yeah, it was like, all right, so he says that he told Nancy Pelosi, okay, if it's looking like people are about to go crazy that day, or when the day started and they started doing it, Nancy Pelosi, they out there protesting. I authorize you to use the soldiers, send some soldiers, and supposedly Nancy Pelosi rejected it or ignored it. But I don't know if he still had the power and command, because I guess like when someone becomes president-elect, do they still have the full power, or is the power more to what do they call it? The head of Congress, or what do they call him? The Speaker of the House. So as the transfer of power is, so does the Speaker of the House mainly have most of the power? I had to look into that. So denied the soldiers, so created a situation that can get out of control by not having, just send some soldiers. The motherfuckers would have calmed down. They had seen a truckload of soldiers came up. They'd be like, all right, yeah. They'd have fell back. But because it was probably like 10 to 20 cops there for like 200-300 people, 400 people. I don't know. I gotta look up how many people was there. Probably was 1,000. So, but. And then there was some conspiracy videos and things I've seen that it looked like it was some, you know how they got them agitators, like you said, agents, someone paid some random group to infiltrate the march or the protests, which we seen in the Black Lives Matter type protests too. Like, hey, like, it's Black Lives Matter, but why are these white dudes ski masked up throwing bricks at stores and looting? Like, so find that a little suspicious. So what we're finding out is George Soros and those guys, for some reason, they must have a hold on a lot of political whatever, the hold on the country. So they set up certain things to try to make certain protests look like it was violent or wild, basically. But y'all get the point. So it's a lot of theories and even videos of look like motherfuckers don't look like regular protesters. They look like someone that's trying to break the first window and then stand back and let the other people just like these people that's like, yeah, break a window and kick down a door and then stand back, and motherfuckers be like, aren't you gonna go in? Yeah, go in. And he like, no, y'all go in. Like, it's a straight setup, like. So y'all get my point. But
for president, being said, it's
so that's what I said. That J6 committee on the side of the that, not the protesters, just the committee over. Why would they need a pardon? Like, what did they do? It's like, what did y'all do that y'all would need a pardon? Like, and they try to say, oh, it's because he's in office, he's going to retaliate on people. How can he retaliate if there's no evidence? So you saying he's going to probably try to do to y'all what y'all try to do with him with no evidence? Or what? Because just like he said, he could have pardoned himself and his family or anybody else he would think they would go after he lost for anything they might have done wrong. And the motherfucker didn't do none of it. So it's just strange, like. It's strange. I never heard of this shit before. A president pardoned himself and his family. Couldn't Clinton do that before they impeached him, right? Before you impeach me for getting head, I would like to pardon myself for getting head.
Unbelievable precedent it creates for a president. But the precedent is unbelievable. Now maybe every president that leaves office, they're going to pardon every person they ever met, so they don't have some lunatic like deranged Jack Smith, who's a total lunatic, by the way. Not a smart guy, he's a dummy. But we beat the hell out of him. And I helped my reputation.
Do you think you have to do the same thing at the end of this term?
Well, I guess now I have precedent to do it. I wouldn't want to do that, no. I think it makes you look very guilty. I think it makes Biden look very bad, very weak, and very guilty. And I mean, he pardoned everybody. How about this J6 committee? Why is he pardoning them? The reason is because if you delete and destroy documentation, everything, they have nothing because they were guilty as hell. They rigged it. It was a rigged deal. And when you do that, they look very bad, but I was a little surprised he did it. Liz Cheney, I mean, she's a lunatic. And she lost by the greatest margin in the history of a politician running for Congress, like 40 points. The reason it was the greatest is because anybody losing that badly is going to drop out. but she's a nut job. She doesn't drop out. You know, she just keeps chugging forward. And she lost by almost 40 points. That's the biggest number anybody's ever lost by. But why would Biden do that? He pardoned her and pardoned everybody. The reason is that they destroyed documents. And if you're even in a civil case, which this wouldn't be, I mean, people go to jail for a long time for doing that. What's this one?
That's unleashing American energy, sir. It relates to easing permitting processes and other regulatory systems to ensure that we can produce energy efficiently to drive the American economy forward.
President Trump, looking around the office, we noticed some changes from the way that Biden had it set up. Can you confirm that you have added back the Diet Coke button?
I think this, first of all, I just got here. So my people came in. They have extraordinary decorator sense, right? Let me just see some of the pictures. Well, that's a good one. I could live with him. I could live with George Washington, I can tell you. I could live with Thomas Jefferson. I could live with most of them. They took a very safe route. They don't have any bad ones up there.
Withdrawing from
What
the
is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one.
That is a big one.
So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China, with 1.4 billion people, we have 350 to pay. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million, we were paying 500 million. It seemed a little unfair to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could have come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens.
Mr. President, you
Pretty
spoke
sad to think of it. China pays 39 million and we pay 500 million. And China's a bigger country.
Mr. President, you spoke about inflation today in your remarks. What actions are you taking today that will have a direct impact for Americans on their everyday costs to bring the cost down?
The biggest thing and factor for inflation is energy. They screwed up my energy policy. And then they went back to it. You know, they hurt it really badly, and then they went back to it, and they started drilling more, but by that time it was too late. Many of these things that we're signing and that Doug Burgum is going to be signing, and Chris Wright, who's phenomenal at, you know, Energy, Department of Energy, we're going to be taking a lot, we're going to make a lot of money from energy. We have more than anybody else. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We're going to make a lot of money from tariffs. You know, European Union charges us, they have a VAT tax of 20%, but it's really much higher than that. And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take almost anything. And yet we take their cars, or we take their farm product. We take a lot from them. So, you know, we have like a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. So we'll straighten that out with either tariffs or they have to buy our oil. The one thing they can do, oil and gas, the one thing they can do to catch up quickly, buy our oil and gas.
Will you travel?
And they should do that.
Will you travel to China this year?
Yeah, it could be. You know, I've had the invite.
Mr.
President, she
I would do
invited
it,
you to
yeah.
come this year?
Talking about the European Union and the tariffs, like, what do you mean when you say that the European Union country is part of BRICS?
That a what?
BRICS. You said BRICS.
Oh, BRICS. No, I was talking about BRICS. BRICS is 6 nations. I think it's 7 nations. And they were looking to do a number in the United States. And if they do that, they won't be happy about what's going to happen to them.
Are you still considering a universal tariff, Mr. President, on all countries?
I may, yeah, but we're not ready for that yet. We may put it, wrap it,
Mr. President.
because essentially all countries take advantage of the U.S. We don't make any good deals in the U.S. It's amazing in a way that we exist. We don't make good deals. We don't have any good deals. We have a deficit with almost, not all, there are a couple, I won't tell you their names, because I don't want them to find out about it because they'll feel stupid. But there are a couple of countries that actually don't make money with us. But I don't want to let you know because they'll immediately change that. But we're gonna do. I tell you what, our country has an amazing economic future. I really believe in it.
What kind of universal tariff if you did do one?
Well, you'd put a universal tariff on anybody doing business in the United States because they're coming in and they're stealing our wealth, they're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our companies, they're hurting our companies. So you put a tariff on to keep them from doing that.
Mr. President, you surround yourself with a whole bunch of billionaires today. President Biden, in his farewell address, warned about an oligarchy, and what are you to respond to that?
Well, he had a lot of guys, and then they found out that he didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and I think they deserted him. They deserted him, those same guys. Look, I don't make pretenses, smart guys, but there are a lot of smart people around, but they did desert him. They were all with him, every one of them. Now they're all with me, I don't know. It's not going to get anything from me, I don't need money. But I do want the nation to do well, and they're smart people, and they have, they create a lot of jobs. And if they don't do it, China's going to do it. What they've done is they've taken industries and they've taken it away. They outsmarted China. And, we sort of like that. It's okay. They've done a great job. A lot of them, not all of them.
Protecting women from radical gender ideologies.
Ooh.
Mr. President, going back to the World Health Organization, you were the president.
Yeah, I didn't say nothing about this one. This is one.
Done a great job. A lot of them, not all of them.
Protecting women from radical gender ideologies.
Ooh.
Mr. President.
That shit hit like a punch in the jaw, like the uppercut. Like, it was some other ones, but I think it's day 2 or something, because it was when the ones you signed on the well, that one at least is the one protecting women from the radical gender ideology. For example, transgender men, women, I don't know what it is, going into women's bathrooms and vice versa, and different things which is definitely out of control. Just from the thought of it, like, motherfucking man in the dress go walk into into a women's bathroom, like, what the? Like, it's just out of control. Like, which I said, I don't understand how the Democrats really sit there and be like, oh, he's gonna take away our rights and everything, this and that. And the Democratic Party and the policies is actively violating your rights, cuz like they got the trans boxer beating bitches up and shit, like trans boxer beating bitches, trans athletes whooping females in they sports, walking into the female bathroom. I hate to be a chick right now with them type of policies. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. But you notice how it don't seem like they're gonna elaborate on this one.
Going back to the World Health Organization, you were the president during COVID. Don't you see the importance of an organization like that to coordinate a global response?
Sure, I do, but not when you're being ripped off like we are by the World Health. World Health ripped us off. Everybody rips off the United States, and that's it. It's not going to happen anymore. Thank you very much, everybody.
Hold up, I need day 2, because I know it's a day 2. Wasn't there a day 2?
The Davos Forum again that NATO countries should spend 5% of GDP on defense.
Yeah.
The United States don't spend 5%.
Well,
Do you think it
don't
should also
think so.
apply to the United States?
We're protecting.
All right, I'm about to shut this live down, but.
Sir? Yes, sir. First, we have a list of pardons and commutations relating to events that occurred on January 6th.
Use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones.
Yeah, European Union. So we're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our companies, they're hurting. What they've done is they've taken industries and they've taken it away. They are not when you're being ripped off like we are by the
that the judge? It definitely looks zesty if that's the judge.
Good.
Why they look like a bunch of weirdos?
Good morning, everyone.
Like a bunch of weirdos just assembled.
Good morning,
right
everyone.
now, like...
Today.
First one, please.
Do you want to? Yeah, Mr. President, this is an executive order on crypto. We're going to be. Oh, sorry, we're doing that first. Sorry, Mr. President, this is an executive order on AI. We're basically announcing the administration's policy to make America.
Commercial. I know you coming with it. Just keep it real. Keep 100. I knew it. Gotcha. I give you a shout out, Uber Eats. I wouldn't order from them. No, your shit gonna be sitting on the step cold.
America, the world capital in artificial intelligence, and to dominate and to lead the world in AI.
Do you want to say your name, your full name?
David Sachs, AI and Crypto Czar.
David is one of the greatest in the world at AI. Most respected, probably, there is.
I mean, just sign us away to Skynet. Why don't you? But it's inevitable. My feelings about AI is it's going to happen, man. It's best to try to train the AI model to not nuke us all. Because it's going to happen without us anyway. Like, they're going to keep making smarter and more quantum computers, and it's going to come, eventually it's going to become what they call sentient or self-aware on its own. Like, so you might as well just get ahead of it now. But yeah, because it don't matter what you do. The more we go in the direction of AI, it's just going to be like, here come Terminator. But so, like I said, I don't know. The AI is next level of important. It's just next level. Like, the applications of it, from making music to making videos to developing cures, developing like just everything, solving problems. Like, it's just next level. Now, it could solve the problem and just nuke us all, but we'll see.
So that should take us to the forefront, right?
Absolutely. We got to win.
Okay. Thank you. And this, David, is?
Yeah, this is the Crypto EO. We're going to be forming an internal working group to make America the world capital in crypto under your leadership.
Which is really going up, right?
Absolutely.
I'm really interested in this because it's basically like a new currency, a form of currency in the world. People have been using Bitcoin and crypto and all these digital currencies people using, and I just wonder, how does the Federal Reserve feel about this? Like, 'cause you know they fucking run the world. like, how do y'all feel? Like, the global banks, like, is this something the global banks are in on? Because if they ain't in on it, you know they gonna have a problem with this. Like, I'm pretty sure they've had a problem with all the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin that's been going on. But that's something I was just curious of. Like, does this new form of currencies that's coming out, do they have anything to do with Federal Reserve? And will that hinder the success of these new types of forms of currency? Because you know they're going to try to shut it down.
All right, David, that's for you. Thanks.
I'm trying to find the ones where he was the orders to he did a couple of them. All orders to take down all LG rainbow flags from military and government buildings, remove them out of schools, like some crazy next level joints he's been putting in. I don't know if it's gonna be on this video, but we all been seeing what's been going on. Like, I'm gonna give y'all like 10, 20 more minutes of this live, but y'all all been seeing what's going on, man.
You find them exciting? They might not be exciting, but they're going to make a lot of money for the country.
Thank you, sir.
And so is David. You have to check him out. There's nobody like this guy. They said, how did you get David Sachs? How did you do that? And he's doing it for the country more than anything else. So we appreciate it, David. Thank you very much.
This is an executive order establishing a presidential commission, an advisory commission on science and technology.
Good. You want to explain that a little bit?
The basic idea is to get together top people from government, the private sector, technology industry, as well as educational institutions, to make sure that America maintains its leadership position.
I'm reading the comments. ATF media say, which one of these lowers home heating costs? You see me, I only turned down my heat 1 degree. And it's shutting off a little bit more. It comes on periodically, basically to keep it to the temperature I set it to, but I'm trying to keep lower at 1 degree because it's on continuously because it's so cold outside that it has to be on. I mean, I don't want to freeze all everybody in the house, but I'll be waking up and burning up. And I'm like, damn, it's hot as shit. Like, because it's so cold, the heater is constantly on. It won't shut off. It's crazy. Like,
With respect to science and technology development in the years ahead.
Good. That's great.
Next, sir, we have a presidential memorandum encouraging departments and agencies in your government, including the Department of the Interior, to promote federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina.
I love the Lumbee tribe. So this is their first big step, right?
This would be a huge step for them, sir.
Yeah, they were with me all the way. They were great. North Carolina, Lumbee tribe.
who? It better not be no pretendians. It's giving me a feeling it's the pretendians. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Alright, Lumbee tribe. Lumbee tribe. Let's see who these people are. Lumbee Indians, North Carolina, to get full recognition. I'm pretty sure they're going to be the pretendians. I don't even want to look into it because it's going to piss me off. It's going to be Mongolians and Siberians, Asians. But that's a deeper topic. I don't want to go into that right now. Pretendians.
Okay, well, you'll send them a copy of that?
Yes, sir.
They were.
Somebody gonna say impeach him now. See, I'm reading the comments. Art. ATF Media says, y'all can't see it, but I don't think y'all can see it. It says, is this finally the executive order to lower grocery gas and home heating costs as he promised, or is this giving more welfare to billionaires and letting more felons out of jail? Yo, I'm so sick of the Democratic rhetoric. Like, bro, it's nothing you heard them. Everything it sounds like he's trying to bring more wealth into the country. Not into his pockets. The motherfucker don't need no money. The people that y'all saying that he's trying to make billionaires more rich, they don't need no money. They already got your money because y'all buy the products. iPhone, Apple. Like, y'all talking like y'all not giving them. Like, y'all literally are giving your money to these companies and then saying, oh, he's trying to make these companies billionaires richer. Like, bro, you're making them richer. It don't even make sense. Like, I mean, obviously it's the Democratic rhetoric. Like, they gonna keep up with the bullshit.
Great.
He signed the order on that last video I showed you an hour or so ago. I think I've been on an hour. Remember, he to look into the basically inflation, the high gas prices, and see the problem is he'll do something, and then a minute later they'll be like, "Well, why hasn't he done that, bro? He just gave the order to start doing it. He's been there like 48 hours. Like, come on, it's gonna be a crazy 4 years, man. They gonna be." It's like it's the same. You hand somebody be like, "I'm thirsty." You hand them a cold water. They put the water down, don't even open and drink it, and a couple seconds later, "Yo, I'm thirsty." You be like, "Yo, bro, I just gave you fucking ice water, and you threw it away, and then you said, why you didn't give us nothing to drink though?" Like, what? Like.
If you'd like, I could get them that pen, sir, as well.
Yeah, let's do that.
Next, we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this. They'll be very happy. So they're all in prison now?
Some are out of custody.
It's ridiculous. Okay?
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years.
That's an interesting one, but most people already know. The CIA already admitted that they most definitely assassinated assassinated King. JFK one is the one they still not being honest about. It's most likely the government assassinated him, and then his son or his brother too, Kennedy's brother. So it's stuff they already knew, but even worse though, just confirming it from the president. Yeah. So I wonder how the CIA, but they already admitted this. CIA and the FBI, whatever dirt and assassinations they were doing in the past, they already, for the most part, admitted it. And it ain't like no one protested to shut them down. I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to tell the FBI or CIA to shut down. So, but it's still going to be interesting to see the full report.
For decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Okay, thank you very
Mr.
much.
Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocks the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge. They have a huge positive impact. And, we want to be that she has full responsibility for this.
All right. I'm not going to find the ones. They probably scrubbed it already. They probably so mad that he's shutting down the Rainbow Gang that they just trying to scrub it. But he took all censorship off it, so if anything is scrubbing it is because they groomers, predators, sexual divergence. Let's see what else. I don't think it's any more. It's every day he's going through it. Like, this shit gonna be jumping off every day. I don't think I'm going to find it.
All right.
Yo, Dan Cardi.
All right.
Check it out, Doc Mega. Yeah.
Elon Musk does not appear to be a fan of Dana Carvey's impression of him, which was debuted on the most recent episode of Saturday Night Live. On November 9th, the SNL alum
Years of working from home, federal workers could soon be forced to return to the office 5 days a week. President Trump signed a desk full of executive orders after his inauguration, including the elimination of telework options.
Right, so now the big question, what does this mean for the DMV? And perhaps more importantly, what does it mean for different agencies and industries in our region? 7 News report.
It means take your ass to work. That's what the fuck that means.
Into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen.
Federal.
Also tonight, immigrant communities across.
I tell you, man, it's been an extraordinary election. Like just everything. Like I told you before. Like I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't never been so more prouder, man. It's ridiculous. Somebody had a balls. Well, this is just for this Instagram page posted. I'm not sure if this is one of the orders, executive orders. Because people could be just making this shit up just to like make them look bad, which is not even this is not even a bad thing. This is crazy. We live in a world where common sense is like looked at as horrible. Like, oh my God, like you're a monster. Like what? Like, no, I live in reality, man. All right, this don't say Trump bans LGBTQ, the Rainbow Gang. I'm just say Rainbow. It's easy to say. And Black Lives Matter flags from every U.S. outpost. I mean, it really shouldn't be no either flag. Let's just keep it for real though. Like, I mean, but all right, say if you on the dorm or something, like, or the what do they call the base or whatever, and you in your apartment or home on your base, and you got a Black Lives Matter flag, like. I would look at, see, this is touchy. You would say that's free speech, but then why would you say the rainbow flag is not free speech? Like, but to me, the rainbow flag is mental illness flag, so it's a little different. But as far as you having a racial, I would say, like, it's not a black supremacy flag, but it would be divisive, because just imagine if, like, it was a Spanish Lives Matter. Like, what's sad is it went from like them it being painted as a protest for black people being killed to more like people try to spin it like it's a black supremacy ideology, which we should be on our black supremacy shit, motherfucker. But nah, but black like, so it's like you on a base and somebody had a, like I said, a Spanish Lives Matter. It's just the wording of it would apply you a victim, but for some reason, just because it started as it's black ideology, it just, oh, you think you're the only ones that matter. Like, that's why I get it when racists kind of try to flip everything. They're gonna try to flip everything and act like nothing happened to you. Like I said, that's the same thing happened with Kaepernick taking a knee. They acted like they said, fuck, we don't care what he protested for.
he just disrespecting our flag. And you don't even want to talk about why is he doing that? Why did he take a knee? Because y'all cops is fucking killing niggas. Like, and at that time, it was really out of control and unjustly. So I can go deeper into his first and second term deeper, but right now we just gonna just keep with the memes for a couple minutes till we get out of here. I'm about to shut this joint down anyway, but it's funny. All right, this is a clip from Dune. I don't know if it's part 1 or part 2. Say ICE station outside of Chicago Monday morning, because he's basically implementing the deportation and mass deportations, and Chicago was probably one of the big home grounds of, I don't know where they coming from, probably from Canada, of immigrants. And a lot of times these immigrants don't even be from the country that they're sneaking in through. They'll be a whole bunch of fucking people from some crazy like, you would call them rebels. They might be delinquents, misfits, but just fucked up people from, no matter what country they coming from. They'll come to they'll go all the way to Mexico or Canada and sneak in through them borders. So it seems like a lot of the illegals have been running amok in some of these major, I think because Chicago might be a sanctuary city. The Democrats set up for legal immigrants to stay until they decide what to do with them. I don't know, but so the new borders are Tom Holtzman or something like that. It's definitely the energy he giving. Monday morning, they're gonna be right there, coming through your hood.
Most people, the vast majority of people, don't know or think they don't know a trans person. And so the amount of misinformation and just true flat out lies about our lives spread. And I really want to encourage people to educate yourselves, to listen to trans people, to listen to trans youth, to listen to the parents of trans youth, many of whom were in denial about a certain situation.
Mom when she was
and who are, if they have the means, having to flee certain states to make sure that their child can feel loved and thrive in their lives. And
well, Ellen, children ask for all sorts of things. That doesn't mean they should get them to feel loved, let alone putting them through a chemical castration. And you're saying people are spreading misinformation and need to educate themselves on trans people. You transitioned, and you don't really look happy, to be honest with you. You don't even sound happy. And I don't think that's a coincidence, since up to 69% of trans youth have depression and up to 79% experience anxiety. So we are basically talking about a mental illness here, and you're promoting it to children.
That's funny. But just in case you don't know, this video is not real. The guy that was talking he edited himself in, but it was definitely what they need to hear though. So
I'm Jewish. I support Palestinian human rights. I'm Jewish. I support Palestinian human rights.
they just start spazzing.
I'm Jewish. I support Palestinian human rights. I'm Jewish. I support Palestinian human rights. Get the fuck out of here! I'm Jewish.
Bro, why are these people like that?
Support Palestinian human rights. I'm Jewish. I support Palestinian human rights. I'm Jewish. I support Palestinian human rights. I'm Jewish. I support Palestinian human rights.
Those are some nasty people.
It's the natives that's doing these tribal dances. You can tell that they learn it using what's called the 1-2-step method, which is the same way you teach the hustle. It's the same way you teach square dance. And every one of their moves is a scripted move because they learned how to do it. It's not natural to them. It's a learned behavior. But when you see them Crips sea walking and them Bloods be walking, then you know that's not scripted. It's coming from their soul. It's their culture being expressed in tribal dance. In Detroit, they jitting. You know, in the South, they gigging. But they all got that fancy footwork. The tribal traditional dances that's coming forth because the DNA can't conceal who you are.
New Orleans second line.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the natives that's doing these tribal dances. You can tell that they learn it using what's called the 1-2-step method, which is the same way you teach the hustle. It's the same way you teach square dance. And every one of their moves is a scripted move because they learned how to do it. It's not natural to them. It's a learned behavior. But when you see them Crips sea walking and them Bloods be walking, then you know that's not scripted. It's coming from their soul. It's their culture being expressed in tribal dance. In Detroit, they jitting. You know, in the South, they gigging. But they all got that fancy footwork. The tribal traditional dances that's coming forth because the DNA can't conceal who you are.
New Orleans second line.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the
Excuse me?
It's the fucking most popular meme on the internet right now.